Hollywood, a city built on dreams, illusions, and the promise that fame will last forever. But behind the flashing cameras and red carpet smiles lies a truth that fans often forget. Hollywood thrives on secrets. And when those secrets spill, they do not just fade quietly into gossip columns. They explode across headlines, destroy reputations, and change careers in an instant. These aren't just scandals, the narrator declares. They're cultural earthquakes that shook Hollywood to its core. The lights of Los Angeles glitter, but so do the shadows. From actors caught in betrayal, to directors exposed in controversy, to jaw-dropping revelations that fans never saw coming, Hollywood has always had a way of shocking the very people who worship it. And when the world is watching, a single misstep can transform a beloved star into the centerpiece of public outrage. The camera flashes, headlines spin, gasps echo. We are about to dive into the 10 scandals that not only stunned Hollywood but left an unforgettable mark on pop culture itself. And it all begins with number 10. This was the story of a star who had it all: fame, fortune, fans screaming their name, and lost it overnight. The scene opens on a red carpet. The star flashes a dazzling smile, their image of perfection glowing beneath the lights. But behind that smile, a secret is waiting to tear everything apart. Within days, the tabloids will circle. Social media will explode. And Hollywood itself will be forced to look in the mirror. The countdown begins now. And at number 10, a scandal so shocking it proved even the brightest stars can fall into darkness in an instant. Number 10. The meltdown of one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. For years, they were untouchable. Their films topped the box office, their face appeared on magazine covers, their interviews painted them as the charming, flawless figure everyone adored. They were the golden child of Hollywood, a star who seemed incapable of falling, but then it happened. In the middle of a live interview, the star lashed out. What began as a simple promotional conversation spiraled into chaos as their frustration boiled over. Cameras captured every second. Viewers sat stunned as the person they thought they knew unraveled in real time. Social media erupted. Fans replayed the clip again and again, dissecting every word, every facial twitch, every glare. Memes flooded timelines. Commentators asked, "Was this the real face of the star all along?" The studio scrambled. Publicists went into overdrive, issuing carefully worded apologies. But the damage was already done. The mask had slipped, and Hollywood never forgets when its stars reveal too much of their true selves. For weeks, the scandal dominated headlines. Endorsements vanished. Co-stars distanced themselves. Overnight, the golden child of Hollywood became a cautionary tale of ego and fame gone unchecked. And yet, some fans defended them. "Everyone breaks down," they argued. Maybe the pressure finally got to them, but for Hollywood, where image is everything, excuses rarely survive the glare of the spotlight. But if you think one meltdown was bad, number 9 exposed a secret so dark it nearly ended a career forever. Number 9, the secret affair that blindsided fans, destroyed a marriage, and turned Hollywood's power couple into tabloid fuel overnight. They walked every red carpet hand in hand. They starred in interviews where they laughed, finished each other's sentences, and gave the world an image of a perfect union. Fans adored them because they seemed untouchable, proof that even in the brutal world of Hollywood, love could last. But beneath the glossy magazine covers was a very different story. Rumors had circulated for months: sightings at hotels, whispers from insiders, anonymous tips on gossip blogs. But no one wanted to believe it, not until the photos surfaced. Paparazzi cameras caught the star in a moment that shattered the illusion: a stolen kiss, late at night with someone who was not their spouse. The images hit the front page before dawn. By sunrise, Hollywood was in shock. The betrayal was undeniable. Fans flooded social media with heartbreak and rage. Some cried over their shattered fantasies, while others demanded accountability. Memes spread like wildfire. Talk shows dissected every angle. Was it just temptation? One host asked. Or had the marriage been a facade all along? The spouse's silence made it worse. For days, they said nothing. Every camera chased them, every microphone shoved toward their face, but they stayed quiet. And in that silence, the humiliation grew louder. When the statement finally came, it was brief but devastating. "I will not stand by someone who betrayed not just me, but the family we built." The divorce papers followed. Endorsements evaporated, roles disappeared. For the star who thought they could hide their double life, the fallout was swift and merciless. Hollywood does not forgive betrayal easily, not when it plays out on such a public stage. And yet, the scandal had ripple effects beyond just the couple. It sparked conversations about the pressures of fame, the temptations lurking behind closed doors, and whether Hollywood marriages are doomed from the start. But while number 9 was about betrayal, number 8 revealed a scandal so shocking it forced Hollywood to confront one of its darkest truths. Number 8. The scandal that forced Hollywood to look itself in the mirror when whispers of misconduct turned into allegations too big to bury. For years, this star was adored. Their face lit up movie posters around the world. Their charm on talk shows made fans swoon. Directors called them a genius. Producers called them box office gold. They were, by all accounts, untouchable. But behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. Crew members spoke in hushed tones. Assistants swapped stories no one wanted to repeat publicly. Tabloids caught wind of the rumors, but every article seemed to vanish as quickly as it appeared. Power and money had a way of keeping things quiet, until one voice broke the silence. A former colleague stepped forward with a chilling accusation, then another, and another. Suddenly, the image of the perfect Hollywood darling crumbled. The allegations were dark, unsettling, and impossible to ignore. What once seemed like gossip became a pattern too glaring to dismiss. The reaction was immediate. Fans felt betrayed. Social media burned with outrage. Hashtags demanding justice trended worldwide. Talk shows debated whether Hollywood had enabled the behavior for too long. Commentators called it the industry's reckoning, but perhaps most shocking of all was the role of the studios. Emails surfaced showing executives had known for years. They had chosen silence, shielding their star because the profits were too high, the films too successful, the brand too valuable. In protecting one career, they had endangered countless others. The fallout was seismic. Projects were canceled. Awards stripped. Co-stars came forward, their stories adding weight to the tidal wave of truth. Fans who once screamed their love now demanded accountability. Memes, once playful, turned savage. And Hollywood was left asking itself a haunting question. How many more secrets are still being hidden? For the star at the center, the story was over. Their career collapsed overnight. Once adored, now exiled, they became a symbol not of success, but of arrogance, corruption, and the abuse of power. And while number 8 pulled back the curtain on Hollywood's darkest secrets, number 7 revealed a scandal so bizarre, so surreal, that even seasoned insiders could hardly believe it was real. Number 7. The scandal so bizarre it blurred the line between reality and a Hollywood script. It began as a normal awards night. Flashing cameras, glittering gowns, tuxedos, and champagne. The kind of night where celebrities floated across the red carpet with smiles that seemed untouchable. But inside the venue, something unfolded that would make global headlines by morning. As the host cracked jokes and the audience applauded, 2 of Hollywood's most famous stars exchanged icy glares from across the room. Tension simmered like a storm cloud, invisible to most but undeniable to those seated close. Then, during a live broadcast watched by millions, one of them rose from their seat, walked across the stage, and delivered a shocking act no one saw coming. Gasps erupted. The audience froze. The host stammered, unsure whether to continue. Cameras caught every second, beaming the chaos into living rooms across the globe. Social media erupted in real time. Within minutes, hashtags trended, clips went viral, and fans flooded timelines with disbelief. Did that really just happen? The surreal moment didn't just dominate headlines, it split Hollywood itself. Some defended the action, calling it an emotional outburst, a defense of dignity. Others condemned it as reckless, unprofessional, and unforgivable. What followed was even stranger. The star who caused the uproar went on to win an award the very same night. Standing at the podium, they tried to explain, their voice shaking, emotions raw. But the damage was done. The world wasn't listening to their speech. The world was replaying the moment over and over in memes, parodies, and endless commentary. For weeks, it was all anyone could talk about. Late-night hosts turned it into punchlines. Fans picked sides. Careers and reputations that had taken decades to build were suddenly in jeopardy because of one shocking, impulsive decision. Hollywood thrives on drama, but this was different. This was real, raw, unscripted. And it was so surreal that even seasoned insiders whispered, if it hadn't he been caught on live television, no one would have believed it happened. But as shocking as number 7 was, number 6 would peel back the curtain on Hollywood's obsession with wealth and expose the scandal that showed just how far stars will go to protect their fortunes. Number 6, the money scandal that revealed Hollywood's glamorous lifestyle isn't always what it seems. Behind the designer gowns, luxury cars, and multi-million-dollar mansions lies a truth that many fans never see: financial chaos. And no star embodied this contradiction more than the celebrity whose empire came crashing down in one of the most shocking Hollywood scandals ever. For years, this star was untouchable. They graced magazine covers, headlined blockbuster films, and lived a life dripping with excess. They threw parties that became the stuff of legend, where champagne flowed like water and no expense was spared. To the outside world, they looked unstoppable, the very definition of success. But behind the velvet curtains, cracks were forming. Rumors of reckless spending began to circulate. Private jets on short flights, diamond-encrusted everything, entire hotel floors rented for weeks at a time. Agents and accountants quietly warned that the money was vanishing faster than it was coming in. But the warnings went ignored. The illusion of wealth had to be maintained at all costs. And then it happened. News broke that the star was bankrupt. The headlines stunned fans around the globe. Hollywood icon loses fortune. The empire had evaporated overnight. Mansions were seized, cars repossessed, and staff laid off in droves. The world wanted answers. How could someone who earned hundreds of millions end up with nothing? Court documents revealed the truth: mountains of debt, bad investments, and years of unchecked extravagance. The public, once enamored with the star's glamorous lifestyle, now watched in fascination as their private finances were exposed like an open wound. The scandal rocked Hollywood because it wasn't just about one person. It raised uncomfortable questions about an industry obsessed with image. How many other stars were living beyond their means? How much of Hollywood's luxury was just smoke and mirrors? As paparazzi hounded the disgraced celebrity, capturing every tear, every stumble, fans online debated. Was this a cautionary tale about greed, or proof that fame itself is a dangerous illusion? For months, the bankruptcy scandal dominated entertainment news. The star, once beloved, became a symbol of Hollywood excess spiraling out of control. And even today, whenever their name is mentioned, the first thing people remember isn't their box office success. It's the empire that collapsed under the weight of its own extravagance. But if losing millions shocked the world, scandal number 5 would shake Hollywood to its core. Because this time, the fallout wasn't financial. It was criminal. Number 5. The crime scandal that made Hollywood stop in its tracks. For decades, fans loved this actor for their charm on screen. They played the hero, the romantic lead, the larger-than-life figure audiences adored. But behind the curtain, reality was far darker, and the truth would eventually crash down like a hammer. It started small. Whispers, rumors, late-night gossip among insiders. Paparazzi photos showed the actor in shady company, at strange locations, often looking disheveled, far from the polished red carpet persona the world knew. Fans dismissed it as exhaustion or the pressures of fame. But insiders knew something bigger was brewing. Then the bombshell broke. Law enforcement revealed that the star was under investigation for a string of illegal activities. Details spilled like wildfire: backroom deals, questionable associates, and behavior that crossed the line from reckless to criminal. The press swarmed. The once charming actor, always smiling in interviews, was now splashed across headlines with words like fraud, arrest, and scandal. The arrest photo went viral within minutes. It was a stark contrast, the glamorous movie star reduced to a mugshot, eyes heavy, expression hollow. Fans who had once cheered for them in theaters sat in shock. Social media exploded with disbelief. Is this real? How could a hero turn into this? Courtroom footage made it worse. Prosecutors laid out evidence that painted a chilling picture: schemes, lies, and betrayals that reached far beyond Hollywood. Every revelation felt like another dagger to the carefully crafted image of innocence and charisma. The public, once loyal, turned into an angry mob online. Memes mocked the downfall. Hashtags trended worldwide. The empire of adoration crumbled overnight. But the scandal wasn't just about one person. Hollywood itself faced questions. How had this gone unnoticed for so long? How could studios, managers, and agents look the other way? Did fame itself shield the actor from accountability until it was too late? The fallout was seismic. Projects were canceled, endorsements vanished. The actor, once hailed as a global superstar, became toxic, a name whispered with disgust rather than admiration. For months, the trial became must-watch television. Every gasp, every revelation, every verdict drew millions of viewers. It was no longer a movie script. It was real life, and it was far more shocking than fiction. When the gavel finally fell, the star's fate was sealed. Hollywood was left shaken, forced to reckon with a haunting truth. Even the brightest stars can cast the darkest shadows. And if scandal number 5 revealed crime in plain sight, scandal number 4 would tear open Hollywood's most closely guarded secret, a betrayal that shook the very foundation of trust in the industry. Number 4, the betrayal scandal that left Hollywood reeling. It started with whispers backstage. Two of Hollywood's most celebrated collaborators, a director and a leading actor, were known for their flawless teamwork. Every film they touched became a critical and commercial success. Fans assumed their friendship was unbreakable, built on years of trust, shared victories, and mutual respect. But behind the cameras, cracks were forming. Confidential contracts were leaked. Scripts were rewritten without consent. Meetings were held in secrecy, alliances shifted, and loyalty was tested. The betrayal began quietly, almost imperceptibly, until one shocking revelation changed everything. During a major awards ceremony, the actor publicly praised another director, someone who had been secretly involved in taking credit for the original duo's project. The audience clapped politely, but industry insiders felt the tension rip through the room like lightning. Cameras captured the director's grimace, the actor's subtle smirk, and the stunned looks exchanged among colleagues. It was subtle, yet devastating, a betrayal performed in plain sight. Soon the story broke worldwide. Leaked emails, insider accounts, and anonymous sources painted a damning picture: backstabbing, secret meetings, and a deliberate attempt to undermine a long-standing partnership. Fans flooded social media, expressing shock and disappointment. How could they betray each other like this? Some asked. We trusted you. The fallout was swift. Projects were shelved. Collaborations ended. Industry trust fractured. Other stars began to question alliances, wary of hidden agendas. Hollywood, usually adept at burying scandal, struggled to contain the narrative as late-night hosts, tabloids, and social media amplified the drama. Yet amid the chaos, some observers offered a cautionary perspective. In an industry where money, fame, and ego collide, betrayal is inevitable, a veteran producer noted. It is only surprising when the world finally sees it. The scandal served as a stark reminder: in Hollywood, friendships can be as fragile as reputations, and trust is often more valuable than fame itself. Those who were once untouchable suddenly found themselves navigating a minefield of broken alliances, public scrutiny, and harsh judgment. And if scandal number 4 exposed betrayal, number 3 would reveal a truth so shocking, so public, that fans could not unsee it, a moment that would haunt Hollywood for years. Number 3. The revelation so shocking it went viral before anyone could blink. Hollywood thrives on image, on carefully curated appearances. But sometimes the truth refuses to stay hidden. This scandal erupted during what should have been a routine press junket for a blockbuster release. Cameras were rolling, fans crowded the stage, and reporters prepared the usual questions. The star, always poised and confident, began answering questions as rehearsed. Smiles, jokes, and charm were all on display. But then a seemingly innocuous question caught them off guard. The answer that followed was not rehearsed. It was raw, unfiltered, and explosive. In that moment, a secret the star had carried for years became public knowledge. Gasps filled the room. Reporters froze. The live broadcast captured every reaction, the wide eyes, the stammering, the sudden silence. Social media erupted instantly. Clips of the revelation were shared millions of times within hours. Fans replayed the moment endlessly, debating, dissecting, and sharing. What made this scandal unforgettable was not just the secret itself, but how it collided with the star's carefully constructed persona. For years, fans had idolized them, believing in the perfection projected across screens and magazine covers. Now, that image shattered in real time, leaving audiences grappling with disbelief and fascination. The fallout was immediate. Interviews were canceled. Press conferences convened. Apologies were issued, but the damage had already spread. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary flooded platforms. Celebrities weighed in, adding their voices to the frenzy. Hollywood was collectively holding its breath as the story unfolded. Yet, amid the chaos, some found inspiration in the moment. "Everyone has secrets," our commentator noted. "It is how we face the truth that defines us." The star's vulnerability, though shocking, reminded the world that fame does not equal perfection, and even icons have human flaws. The viral scandal would be studied for years, a turning point in the star's career, a lesson in image versus reality, and a cultural moment that resonated far beyond Hollywood. And as scandal number 3 left audiences reeling, number 2 would bring an even more sensational shock, a revelation so public and scandalous, it changed the course of an entire career overnight. Number 2, a scandal so explosive it ended a career in a single headline. Hollywood had adored this star for decades. Box office, hits, awards, and red carpet appearances built a reputation of unshakable success. Fans cheered their every move, magazines celebrated them, and studios practically worshipped their name. But behind the glamour, a secret was festering, one that no one expected to surface so publicly. It all started with a seemingly innocent leak. A private video, email, or recording surfaced online, capturing a moment the star desperately wanted to remain hidden. Within hours, the internet erupted. Millions viewed the content, analyzed every frame, and debated its meaning. Social media exploded with hashtags demanding accountability. Memes spread like wildfire, turning shock into shared cultural conversation. The reaction in Hollywood was immediate. Studios distanced themselves. Endorsements vanished. Award nominations disappeared. Co-stars expressed shock, carefully choosing words to protect their own reputations. Fans were divided. Some defended the star, claiming everyone makes mistakes, while others demanded total ostracization. What made the scandal even more devastating was timing. The star was at the peak of their career, preparing for a major film release. The scandal derailed the project entirely. Marketing campaigns were scrapped, premiere events canceled, and box office projections plunged. The industry watched in disbelief as years of carefully curated success crumbled overnight. Television networks dissected the fallout. Late-night hosts replayed clips with dramatic commentary. Podcasts debated motives, consequences, and implications. The scandal became more than personal embarrassment. It was a cultural phenomenon, a cautionary tale of fame, privacy, and the fragility of reputation. Yet amid the chaos, some argued the incident revealed an essential truth. Fame is a double-edged sword. The higher the pedestal, the harsher the fall. And when private actions collide with public visibility, there is little room for error. For the star, the scandal marked a turning point. Their career trajectory shifted, public perception changed, and Hollywood learned, once again, that no one, no matter how beloved, is untouchable when secrets emerge into the spotlight. And as number 2 left audiences stunned, scandal number 1 awaited, the most shocking, unforgettable Hollywood scandal ever. The one that would define the decade and be remembered for generations. Number 1. The scandal that defined a decade, shocked the world, and changed Hollywood forever. It was a night that promised glamour, celebration, and applause. The Academy Awards. The world watched, captivated by dazzling dresses, tuxedos, and smiles perfected for television. But amid the glittering lights, a storm was about to erupt, one that would dominate headlines for years to come. The star at the center was revered, critics lauded their performances, fans adored them. Studios relied on their name to guarantee success. But behind the poised demeanor was a secret the public could never have imagined. Rumors had circulated quietly, strange financial dealings, hidden relationships, or troubling behavior, but no one dared to speak openly. Then live on stage it happened. A revelation, unplanned and raw, shattered the carefully maintained illusion. Cameras captured every reaction, the shock on co-stars' faces, the audience gasping, the host frozen mid-sentence. Social media ignited instantly. Clips of the moment were shared millions of times within hours. Hashtags trended worldwide. News outlets interrupted programming to cover the fallout. The nature of the scandal was unprecedented. Unlike past controversies that could be spun or quietly managed, this one exposed multiple layers: betrayal, cover-ups, and collusion at the highest levels. Fans felt disbelief, anger, and fascination simultaneously. Memes spread like wildfire. Analysts dissected every frame. Late-night shows replayed the shocking moment over and over, debating motives and consequences. What made this scandal unforgettable was its ripple effect. Careers were derailed. Studio executives faced public scrutiny. Former collaborators revealed their own accounts, amplifying the story's gravity. Even unrelated celebrities found themselves drawn into the controversy, either defending or condemning the star. Hollywood's very image, polished, glamorous, untouchable, was left in tatters. Yet amid the chaos, there was a cultural reckoning. Audiences were forced to confront uncomfortable truths: the cost of fame, the illusions of celebrity, and the fragility of public trust. The star, once untouchable, became a cautionary tale, a symbol of how quickly fortune, reputation, and admiration can evaporate. And as the dust settled, Hollywood learned a lesson that would resonate for years. Secrets do not stay buried forever. The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall. And when the world is watching, every action, every choice, every hidden truth can explode into history. The countdown ends, but the stories linger. These scandals are more than gossip. They are cautionary tales, cultural moments, and reminders that behind every red carpet, there are human flaws, ambition, and sometimes betrayal.